Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Sports on 940 podcast. This is our first live stream, and we're happy to be here this evening. And this is an experiment for us. This is the first time, and I'm expecting some technical difficulties at some point, but as we continue to do it, it should be good for us. My name is Will. This is my co-host,
Mac.
So, anyways, how's everything been, Mac, as far as the games you've seen so far?
They've been interesting, man. Some really good games. One this past Friday, Holbrook and Winslow. Good game between the girls. Holbrook came out on top. Boys, also good game. It could have went either way. I think all the way down to the last few minutes, but Holbrook pulled it off and got the win. I think they led most of the game. It was a really good game. I think at the most they were up by like 18 maybe or something like that. 20, I can't remember exactly, but they won by 12. It was a good game. So it's good to see the home team win.
Yeah, it was. These crosstown rivalries are certainly a big thing for not only this small town, but the surrounding communities as well. One of the things I think about when I see a team like Holbrook and Winslow when they play together, it's either these young men and young women, they've been playing against each other or playing with each other, like during the summer league basketballs, as well as playing with each other like in junior high. Yep. And it's also a possibility too that a lot of the players are also relatives of each other too.
Yeah.
So not only is it a rival game, but for some it's also like a family type of event as well too. And this game didn't disappoint. I think I certainly was expecting other things to happen in the game, but either way, it was certainly something pretty exciting for everyone to see.
Yeah.
I want to say I posted something about, I think Holbrook girls being a 2-point favorite, as well as the Winslow boys being a 5-point favorite. And I don't think the model certainly didn't foresee a game like this happening with the girls or with the boys. And to my surprise, I'm not exactly sure. I'm not sure if I'm going to blame it on the weather or if it's going to be just, maybe it was just one of those days where both teams just had a really bad day. But it seemed like Winslow, both the boys and the girls, were just struggling to score points, struggling to, get things moving in a manner such that, they would put themselves in a position to win. Is that what you've seen early on?
Yeah, I feel like Holbrook, I'm talking about the boys right now, but the boys seem like they played really well defensively, gave was a lot of trouble, not really getting the ball down, but like in their offense, I guess, like compared to the last game they had at Winslow. So that went well, and they were hitting more shots, like outside range and all that. And they did better on that percentage-wise, I believe. And man, some of the boys stepped up. I know Brandon Tallman had a good game. He had 20 points, I believe, and I think Amari had like 18 points too or something like that. So some of these guys that were kind of like in the back a little bit are getting to get more aggressive and become more confident. So that's what they need. The teams need right now in this towards the end of the season. So it's been good.
Yeah, certainly. I think on one of the previous Sports Zone radio games in the live chat, I put I think it was the last time Holbrook was hosting a game at home and Sports Zone was here. I did say that Holbrook was notoriously bad in the third quarter, and up to that game, which I think was maybe 3 or 4 games ago, maybe 3
Monument
games.
Valley game
was the Monument Valley game.
Yeah.
Up to that Monument Valley game, Holbrook boys really struggled in the third quarter. I mean, it was just heartbreaking to see. They did so well in the first half. Maybe sometimes they would build up a lead. Like for example, in the St. John's game, I think they were winning by almost 20 points, or maybe a little over 20 points at halftime. And then in the third quarter, just mistakes, either throwing the ball out of bounds, bad shots, not rebounding, allowing the offense to just go in there and score an easy bucket. That was certainly a concern for me. And I guess I think when you and I had watched, maybe it was the Snowflake game, and it was at the very end. Um, I think maybe Holbrook was losing by one or something like that, and maybe there was 30 seconds left or something. And you had asked me if they thought there was still a chance for him to win, and my comment to you was they're probably just going to throw it out of bounds. And I said that because at that time I didn't have any confidence in them as far as having the foresight to and the courage to hold on to the ball and do something meaningful with it.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like up to that point, all season they just really struggled with closing out games. And obviously the Snowflake game, they managed to pull out the win in a strange fashion. They what was it they had? So they had an intentional foul, right?
Yeah.
And
Travis had a
had an intentional foul called on them. An unfortunate one. I think everyone didn't agree that it was an intentional foul, but anyways, it sent the Snowflake player to the line to shoot two, and I think they were losing by one at that point, right?
yeah.
So if he would have made both free throws, Snowflake would have been winning by one.
And that was their best shooter too.
Yeah,
And he shot and he missed both. Man.
and he missed both free throws, and then
They get the ball back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
still
the
play-
inbound.
yeah, on the inbound, and then Snowflake inbounds, and they had another chance to make another 2 point or make a shot, and I think one of their players had a really good look because they passed it on the opposite side of the key,
Mm-hmm.
and he had maybe a good like 4-footer or something like that,
Yeah,
and
he missed that too.
I think he just threw up a brick. I don't think it was even close, but
Uh-huh.
they had an opportunity to score. Is the point?
Yeah,
And Holberg managed to get the rebound, and they were able to close off Snowflake. And what I thought was interesting about that game, the Snowflake one, keep switching back and forth, but in the Snowflake game, I noticed that Delmar Johnson, Coach Johnson, he uncharacteristically in the third quarter made them switch to a zone.
mm-hmm.
And I kind of figured it was for two reasons. One, to reduce the tiredness, because they seem to be getting tired in the third quarter. And also, I think it also helped him manage, because I think he tends to rest players in the third quarter. So when you're switching out some of your better players for your players on the bench, it just seemed like having that zone against Snowflake was the better call,
Yeah,
because I think it helped them manage it, and it forced Snowflake to shoot more,
yeah,
which they didn't do very well at shooting, obviously, right?
yeah.
And then I think in the fourth quarter they took off the zone coverage and kind of went back to the man.
We're back to man. Yeah,
But it was interesting to see them do that.
yeah, and
Now-
also kind of prevents them from committing fouls too. I think for some of the key players in the fourth
Mhm.
quarter, because sometimes they struggle late in the quarters and to get foul trouble. So it's kind of help
Uh-huh.
them out. Yeah,
Yeah, and you look at fast forwarding to the Winslow game now. For the boys, it seemed like Winslow just struggled offensively the whole entire game.
Mhm.
And I know, and I would agree with this too. The refs were just letting them play for the most part. They weren't really calling a whole lot of fouls.
yeah,
It kind of seemed like a lot of the calls went against Winslow though when there was fouls called, and
mm-hmm.
maybe some of them were justified, maybe they weren't. I guess it's to the eye of the beholder. Obviously, to some Winslow fans, I think a lot of those fouls that were called weren't warranted, and I could see an argument for that. It definitely was a physical game,
Mm-hmm.
but I think when you have when you're trying to develop a championship team, you want your team to be able to overcome adversity. And even though you're not getting the calls, it seems like all the calls are going against you. Great teams, they still find a way to push through that and win, right? They
Yeah.
find a way to figure out how to win the games, even though it's not going their way. And it just seemed like Winslow just couldn't get themselves out of the deficit that they had created.
Mm-hmm.
And towards the end, a lot of players from Winslow fouled out. I know that,
Yeah, they had 3 players fall out.
which was not helpful to them, especially towards the end. But at that point, I think Holbrook had a commanding lead anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think Holbrook led the whole game. I think, right? Is that right?
if I remember correctly, yes, they did. And
'Cause right from the beginning, they were up by like 10 or something like that.
Mhm.
I think. I remember right.
Yeah. So it was definitely a great performance on Holbrook's end, a great
Mhm.
improvement. I think everybody played great.
Mhm.
I think everyone came out focused to win,
Yeah.
and they got the job done. Winslow, on the other hand, I'm not entirely sure what the problem was. Winslow, to me, when I first seen it at the beginning of the year, I thought they were going to be one of the better teams in the East, and they still are. But I really didn't expect them to put themselves in a position like this. I was totally surprised. I was expecting it to be a close game, probably end up on Winslow's side of the win, but it it certainly didn't happen that way.
Yeah, and they're ranked number 4, I think, on the rankings too. I think state wise
Hmm.
for 3A. So
Yeah, and we'll take a look at that in just a little bit. But
mhm.
let's pivot to the girls' game. For the girls, since Holbrook won in Winslow, we had Sports 940 had Holbrook girls as a 2-point favorite. However, I'm not entirely sure what happened to the girls, but despite all of the issues that they had as far as passing the ball and shooting, they still managed to beat Winslow by a lot. Well, okay, we'll take that back. The score is deceptive because weren't they winning by like 15 points or something like that in the
Mhm.
third quarter?
Yeah, the Winslow came back some.
And Winslow came out with a full court press. Winslow girls came out with a full court press. And I don't know what exactly was going on, but the Holbrook girls could not figure out a way to break that press. And Winslow managed to, just off that full court press, getting steals, they managed to bring that. Didn't they tie the game? Or they got it back down to like a 2-point
Yeah, it was
deficit?
close. Yep.
And I thought it was going to be a close game at the very end. And I thought, oh man, is Winslow actually going to steal this game?
Yeah.
Uh, but I'm not entirely sure exactly how Holbrook pulled it off because
They hit a 3 and that kind of like
mhm,
rejuvenated them and they came
rejuvenated
back.
them.
Yep.
Uh, it seemed like Channing Harrington, she would get the ball and just kind of try to outrun them on the edge to get to midcourt and then pass
Yeah.
it.
When they subbed her out, this is when they started catching up. Like
Mhm.
I noticed that when she was out and they couldn't handle the ball.
You
Going
know what?
down.
I don't get that either because I noticed this in the junior high girls game too.
Mhm.
It seems like when coaches have some kind of lead, it just seems like what these coaches are thinking is how many points can I give up since I'm going to sub some players in, right?
Mhm.
And it seems like the Holbrook girls is the same thing. Like I didn't really didn't I'm not really sure. I didn't feel that taking Channing Harrington out at that point in the third quarter was necessary. Maybe she was
Mhm.
getting tired, maybe, but it it certainly showed when she got out that
Yeah,
Winslow started to
there was a difference for sure. But yeah.
because no one was this. I don't. No one was able to get the ball past half court, and
Mhm.
uh, this is not just a high school problem. I see it in the junior high, like the junior high girls, not just Holbrook Junior High, but just every junior high. Okay, Winter Junior High last year, they did not have any problems with the full court press. They
Mhm.
really knew how to pass the ball and get through.
Yeah.
But it just seems like a full court, learning how to defeat a full court press is something that you should have learned in junior high.
Yeah.
And by the time you get to high school, you should rarely have problems with it.
You need at least like two good ball handlers like to get past a full court press is what I
Mhm.
think. Like just one person. I think they have Bailey in. She's a good ball handler. She knows she's a veteran player for Holbrook now, and just her alone, I think with some other players they struggled
Mm-hmm.
until they got Cherry back in. Then they improved it a lot. So
Yeah, and for the girls too, it just seemed like nobody wanted the ball
mm,
on the Holbrook side. Nobody wanted the ball, and even when they were full court pressing, there would only be maybe 2 players
yeah,
on the inbound side, and everybody would be out on the other side of the court when there's no help. And if there's no help, it's like, how are we going to get the ball? How are we
yeah,
going to get the ball back over midcourt if we have all this pressure? So hopefully that's something they work on because if I was another coach from some other school, I would start looking at. I would say Holbrook is extremely vulnerable with the press,
mm,
especially if you can do it right. But I'm sure they're working on it. But we'll have to see.
yeah,
Oh, but as far as Winslow, I know at the beginning of the year, beginning of the season, I expected Winslow to make great improvements, and in some ways they did, but those improvements didn't materialize in wins.
mm-hmm.
And I certainly, and I think the community as well, was expecting some kind of improvement, but it just seemed like whatever improvements Winslow made, everyone else sort of made just a little bit more to get ahead. I would say Holbrook made just a little bit more. I mean, Holbrook's made some improvement. Holbrook girls made some improvements since the beginning of the year, but it hasn't necessarily translated in a lot of wins. But
Mm-hmm.
granted, they are in the toughest division in the East, or
Yeah.
the second toughest division, which is the East. So um, I think Winslow girls will probably limp into the playoffs with a play-in spot. Um, but we'll have to see it. And I guess we can go into that next. Um, so let me see here. So if we look here, let's look at the girls here. And let's look at the 3A first. Here we have Snowflake at number 1, Tuba City number 2, Winter Rock number 3, Push Ridge 4, Sholo number 5, Page number 6, Yuma Catholic 7, Valley Christian number 8. 9 through 12 is Chinley, Monument Valley, Altusay, and Seton Catholic. And if you go down, Holbrook is ranked number 16, and Winslow is ranked number 18. And it's so. Sometimes I sit down and I wonder, why don't we just go to the old system where each conference had 2 automatic bids, and the conference champion or whatever got to go, right? Something
Mm-hmm.
like that. Because I don't think someone. I understand that Winslow and Holbrook is in the toughest division, for about the second toughest division, and they play schools from the north. I understand that, but there's really no reason why a team that's 4-7 should make the playoffs, or Holbrook listed at 3-7,
Mm-hmm.
right? This, to me, that I guess if you look at the field, the overall field, though, okay, I could see maybe Holbrook is certainly better than maybe some of the schools further down the list, right? But um, I'm not entirely sure if this was just a ploy to get more North teams, or more North teams and North team adjacent schools to get into the playoffs in order to, uh, I don't know, maybe increase ticket sales. Because I know that in the playoffs, every venue, they have to pay a certain amount. I think 100% of the venue tickets go straight to AA for the playoff games, right? It's something really high like
Yeah, I
that.
think so. Yep.
And I think the school only makes money off of maybe just concession or something, right? So it just seems like more games, more ticket sales during the playoffs, and that's probably why they got. That could be one of the reasons why they got rid of having the tournament at Tim's Toyota Center and whatnot, because instead of having a whatever, the quarterfinals there, and potentially some of the North teams, half the North teams lose in the first round, so now you maybe only have 4 North teams or 2 North teams, whatever. The amount of seats you're going to sell in the quarterfinal round would be limited, simply because there's not a whole lot of North or East teams there.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, they're thinking, well, we can just have everybody play at their individual school. The home team play at their home court. We'll take 100% of the ticket sales, and we don't have to pay for a venue like having it at Tim's Toyota Center. We don't have to pay for all that other stuff, referees, security, and all that jazz, right? We can just put all the costs on the school, and
Yeah.
we'll take 100% of the ticket sales.
Hmm.
So that, to me, that kind of seems like these corporate execs or whoever they hired down there was like, let's just why should we pay when we can have all the schools do it for us,
Yeah.
and we just take all the money for it? That's kind of one of the reasons, one of the things I see about it. I mean, it could be wrong. Maybe I'll ask Mr. Perkins when he comes back on what his thoughts are on that. But anyhow, but again, like I said here, looking at this, I think they take, is it top 24?
24, yeah.
Top 24 teams. Who's a 24 team? It's Brigade Catholic, followed by Florence at 23, Ganado at 22. So just looking at this here, it just looks like the entire North and the entire East is going to make the playoffs for girls. If we go to the Copper really quickly, Copper, you have the Snowflake at the top, Tuba City at second, Winter Rock in third, Mojave Accelerated at 4th, Pima at 5th, San Carlos at 6th, Puss Ridge 7, Sholo 8, Page 9, Yuma Catholic 10, Valley Christian 11, Fort Thomas 12, Round Valley 13, Arizona Lutheran 14, Joe City 15, St. John's number 16. And then we have the last ones. Let me see. Kingman as a last minute bid, Chinle, Monument Valley, St. David, Fountain Hills, Algersay, St. John Paul II. I wonder where that is. And Seton Catholic Prep. So anyhow, what do you think about the current rankings?
I think they looks pretty accurate to me as far as like, I don't know a lot of these teams like Mojave Accelerated. I have no clue who they are, man. But as far as 3A, the rankings, I see that pretty fair. Snowflake number. It's going to be interesting how it pans out though. Like once the copper bracket comes out and teams start playing in this. You know, last year we had teams just kind of lose intentionally almost to go back into their actual division. So I believe Snowflake, I see them going with the copper bracket. I think they got a good chance of winning that. So I think I see some of the other teams kind of backing out and going back to the original division, I think. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. It's kind of like up to the schools, I guess, what they want to do. But it's gonna be a pretty good run between Tuba and Window Rock, I think, if they stay in the 3A class and try to win that.
Yeah, I think there's a really good chance that Snowflake, Tuba City, Window Rock, and Page are going to lose intentionally, or I won't say intentionally. They're going to play with the restraint.
Mm-hmm.
For sure, I think Page is going to, because I don't think they want to end up in the situation they were last year, where they ended up playing a 2A powerhouse who was arguably the best team in 1A, 2A, and 3A combined.
Yeah,
for girls. But just looking at this, I mean, I could see Joe City, who's also in here as well, intentionally losing as well, so they could go back into the 1A.
Yeah.
Same thing for St. John's. So really, let's say that scenario is true, that Snowflake, Tuba City, Winter Rock don't want to be in the copper. You could potentially have a matchup with maybe Pima, Mojave Accelerated, or maybe even I could see Sholo staying in the copper, because I think it would give them a better chance at winning a championship.
I think so too.
I
see Pima. I see San Carlos. I see them going back into their 2A conference, I think.
Yeah. And I think Coach Perkins is right. I mean, someday, let's say you win a copper state championship. You're going to walk into your gym. Someone's going to walk into your gym and you're going to see this big old banner that says, congratulations, copper, whatever, right? And no one's going to know what that is, because they're probably not going to have the copper after this year. And
all the schools have to start making new banners.
Yeah, new banners. So it just seemed like in people's mind in the future, they're going to see the 3A tournament as, well, this one's more superior than copper because it was just the 3A that we played against, right? I would say the copper may be more meaningful for 1A and 2A teams.
Yeah.
But for the 3A, I don't think it's as meaningful. And like I said, I could see maybe even Valley Christian, schools like that, Yuma Catholic. These schools could be ones that stay in because, I mean, they're not going to stay in because they're the best. They're just going to stay in because the best decided not to play, right?
By chance.
So, we'll just have to see. I mean, I don't think schools should do that. I think they should try their best in whatever tournament they're in. But I would not be surprised if that's the case. But just looking at that one last time, back to the 3A here. Is there anything that you see, Mac, that stands out to you? I mean, you have Chinle at number 9, Monument Valley 10. I guess let's look at some of these outliers here. or they're not outliers. These schools that are outside the top 8. Okay, Chinle at number 9, Minot Valley at number 10. So if you look here, Chinle is 6-6, but Minot Valley is 7-4. So I wonder why exactly. I wonder if they're running into the same problem we ran with our model. Because look at their points: 241, 225. Okay, so based on their power rankings, they think Chinle is slightly better than Minot Valley. Let's go look at this. Let's investigate this really quick. So in Chinle's matchup, they lost to Minot Valley 50-63, and they play them again one more time. Okay. So I guess Chinle has the potential to split the series with Minot Valley, but right now they think Chinle is slightly better.
Mm-hmm. They got Ganado further down too, right? Right now.
Yeah, they got Ganado in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Let me see. They have Ganado last game of the season.
That's a be a good one.
Ganado Chinle.
Yeah. I see Ganado getting better towards the end, I think. A team that's getting a lot better, getting pretty good right now is Page. They're on the roll. They won some games. They got I think a new player. Well, the new eligible player.
Yeah.
So they're doing pretty good.
You know, we watched them play Windrock, at Windrock, and my initial thought was I really didn't think she made a big impact. I mean, she did a little bit, but it wasn't the heavens opened up and this is the answer to our season. We're gonna win the state championship. It wasn't something like that. She certainly does contribute, has some leadership, and can score, but I don't really see her making the biggest impact. And I hope she proves me wrong because I certainly want to see all these kids succeed.
Yeah.
You know, but that's just my initial thoughts, right? But that was a close game too. The Page winner game. Page managed to win that at the end. Here's another one, Altusay. So Altusay is 5-5. Holbrook hasn't played them yet. Do you think if Holbrook beats Altusay home and away, do you think Holbrook could move up to the top 12?
Definitely. Yep.
Because Holbrook has Sholo left, 2 games with Sholo, 2 games with Altusay, and 2 games with Blue Ridge. Those are the final games. And if we look here, I think Blue Ridge is expected to be slightly worse. Oh, so 6.5, 3.7. So there's a huge jump between these power rankings here that they have. So on paper, they see Holbrook as being significantly better, at least twice as good as Blue Ridge. I haven't seen Blue Ridge play this year. Have you managed to see anything with them?
I don't know much about them.
That'll certainly be a mystery, but we'll get to see him play in a few weeks. Lastly, we have Winslow up here, River Valley, Thatcher. Could you see Ganado maybe jumping over these into Winslow's spot maybe?
Possibly,
if they win the last few games, right?
Yeah, I think they could.
So what it's looking like is all the North and all the East teams are going to make the tournament. And it just seems like if you're in the East or if you're in the South, the West, or the Metro, tough luck. You know, this whole tournament set reminds me of college football with the SEC. How the SEC thinks they're so good at football that they deserve to have every team in the college football playoff at the end of the year. And if they don't have enough teams in there, then it's rigged or something, right? So it kind of seems the same way with this one. It's, you know, if they just rigged it, or I don't want to say rigged, they just designed it such that all the North teams make it and all the East teams make it. We'll have to see how it plays out this year, but I'm rather curious to see. Do you have any final thoughts on this, Mac?
Just speaking about college football right now, Indiana won 27-21 over the Hurricanes.
Indiana 27-21.
27-21. Wow.
I heard that Mark Davis was at that football game.
Oh yeah.
He was there to look at Fernando Mendoza.
Yep.
As
hoping to get him, man.
That's interesting because I'm hearing some people saying that Fernando Mendoza is more of a 5th round pick, and that the Raiders should pass and maybe try to convince other teams to trade their spot with him. They could get a lot.
We need a quarterback, man. We need a quarterback foremost.
The Raiders do need a quarterback, but I'm not entirely sure if Fernando Mendoza is their answer.
That's the answer right now.
But it's exciting. I know football's over, but I'm already looking at what the Cardinals have in the draft and everything. So it feels like it doesn't end for me. There's always something going on. But anyways, let's go on to the boys here. Actually, I want to look at one last thing here before we go to the boys. Let's do standings really quick. So for the 3A East right now, and we're showing you these standings because at this point of the season, unless our rankings perfectly match theirs, ours really doesn't matter at this point because this is what the state is going to go by anyways. So we have the 3A East at the top here, Snowflake, followed by Show Low, Holbrook, Winslow, Algersay, and Blue Ridge. So looking at the math here, there's no way Holbrook could win the East, even if Snowflake loses the rest of their games, because Snowflake beat Holbrook twice. I think they beat everybody twice, except for the ones they haven't played yet. So that'll be interesting to see. Winslow, Blue Ridge, as expected, is towards the bottom, and I think we projected them to finish at the bottom as well. I think I had Holbrook. Maybe it was Algersay, Holbrook, Winslow, Shull. So our preseason projections sort of almost fell in line with this. It's just Holbrook played Winslow just a little bit better, but I guess we'll have to see. Looking at the north here, we have Tuba City, Winter Rock, Page, Monument Valley, Chinle, and Ganado. Ganado in last place. It's going to be a fight for Winter Rock to stay in number 2. It's going to be a fight for Tuba City to stay at number 1 as well. Let's look at Tuba City's remaining games here for the girls. Their last remaining games, they had Page, Ganado, Monument Valley, Winter Rock. To me, that looks like Murderers Row.
A tough games
to win the North Conference. Yep. They'll have to beat Page, and I think they'll have to beat Winter Rock for sure to take the conference.
Yeah.
And I think this is going to be a tough game. Page,
Definitely.
It's funny. I just said that the new addition, the new player that Page got, I just said that I didn't think she made a big difference. But now I'm going to say I think she's going to make a big difference against Tuba City. So I think that'll be a good game. That'll be a game to watch tomorrow.
Hopefully,
January 20th.
Did they live anything over there?
I'd have to see what Sports Zone is doing. That'd
be a good game to watch tomorrow night.
I wouldn't be surprised if they scheduled one for them. We can probably take a look later on. And then they finish up. So let's say Tuba City manages to go through this. They have to finish out the season with Winter Rock. So this is going to be a tough stretch for them.
Yep.
Let's look at Winter Rock. The final stretch for them. Chinle, Page, Ganado, Tuba City, Monument Valley. So looking at Winter Rock, I mean, theirs is not an easy task either. They have a tough stretch.
Yep.
Chinle, Page. I think they beat Chinle pretty good early in the season. So, but having the rematch with Page again, and then having to play Tuba City on the 29th, and then Monument Valley. Monument Valley, I think, is good enough to beat anybody, but we'll just have to see which team shows up.
Can you go up real quick, see what the Ganado score was?
60-34, Winter Rock. So
that'd be closer.
Uh-huh.
What was the Page score again? They won by 2 or 3 points, right?
1 point.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting to see. And then the 3A North tournament, do you know where it's going to be held at this year?
Chinle, I believe.
It's going to be held at Chinle this year.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. That's far.
So I spoke to Ephraim Sloan. I was telling you, we could possibly get him on the show too. Maybe they might be traveling up there, so he'd be in the area. So we may have
that'd be awesome
interview with him and all that. So it'd be something to look forward for the viewers and for everybody else, I guess.
Okay, that'd be awesome. I know that I spoke with Mr. Perkins. He talked about coming on the podcast and maybe at the end of January or early February, something like that.
Yeah.
He said he wanted to see where they stand prior to the playoffs. So
he wants to do this before the playoffs.
Yeah. So anyhow, do you have any final thoughts on this, Mac?
No, I'm good.
Okay, let's go to the boys here. Looking at the 3A boys, this is just the 3A boys rankings right now. We have Palo Verde, Benjamin Franklin, Coolidge, Winslow, Seton Catholic, Push Ridge, Valley, Gilbert Christian, Chinley at number 9, Thatcher at number 10, Holbrook at 11, Payson at 12, Snowflake at 13, ALA Ironwood at 14, Sabino at 15, ALA West Foothills at 16, Yuma Catholic 17, River Valley 18, Altusay 19, Florence 20, Brigade Catholic 21, Tuba City number 22, Safford 23, and the Winter Rock Scouts at number 24. Wow.
Hmm.
That's surprising. So how many North teams are there in there? Just Winter Rock, Tuba City, and Chinley.
Looks like it. Yep.
Winter Rock, Tuba City, and Chinley. Huh. That's interesting.
East teams, how many? Winslow, Holbrook,
Yeah, Winslow,
Holbrook,
Holbrook.
Snowflake.
Snowflake, Altusay.
Teams.
No Sholo and no Blue Ridge. Sholo at 32. Wow. Monument Valley at 31. That makes sense. Monument Valley was garbage this year.
I see Page coming up with some.
You think Page could make a final push? Let's
I
see.
think they could, man.
Page.
They lost to Monument Valley recently, though. But I see them coming back up.
Well, they lost Monument Valley by 4.
I see them taking Winter Rock's place if they can.
So they have a tough game against Chinley.
Yep.
And then Monument Valley in the rematch.
They got 3 home games left and then a Monument Valley away game. Huh?
Yeah, it's possible Winter Rock or Page could finish it out and take Winter Rock's spot.
No.
Because Winter Rock, they don't have their coach anymore.
They got JV players playing varsity, I believe. Something like that.
Yeah. So Chinley, Page, Ganado. I mean, Winter Rock has a tough stretch here, and especially with all the drama that's taking place with their team.
Yeah.
I think even without the drama, it's a tough stretch anyways to go to Chinley, then to Page. Apparently Monument Valley's good enough to give them a run for their money. So we'll have to see if Winter Rock can hold on to whatever ranking they have at number 24, but we shall see. Holbrook at number 11, just right outside.
Yeah, this
Top 10.
this ain't updated from this past weekend, so it probably changed by tomorrow. Since they meet Winslow.
Yeah, maybe Holbrook moving up. Holbrook beat Chinley.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, Holbrook was winning big, and they let Chinley come back to almost beat them. Remember that?
Yeah.
So I think Holbrook can certainly be somewhere up in here, maybe
top 5 or something.
Yeah, at least top
Definitely
10.
top
somewhere.
10 for sure. Yep.
But looking at this as a whole, this is 3A, right? Let's look at Copper really quick. We have Santan Carter at number 1, Palo Verde number 2, Ben Franklin, Fort Thomas, Phoenix Country Day, Coolidge, Winslow, Seton Catholic Prep, Push Ridge, Valley Christian, Pima, North Valley Christian. Okay, so of these top 16 teams, Mac, who do you think is going to be in the Copper Final Four?
Copper.
Who do you think is going to? Who do you think is going to advance far enough to where they're no longer able to go into the 3A bracket if they lose? Santan Charter.
Yeah, I see them two top teams. I see them staying in there.
Benjamin Franklin staying in there.
Yeah, I would see that. Fort Thomas, nah, they're gonna pull out.
And 1A, Phoenix Country Day, 2A, maybe Coolidge.
I don't know, maybe.
And Seton Catholic Prep. Okay, let's assume those ones stay in. In the 3A, you're looking at a bracket with Winslow, Push Ridge,
Valley Christian.
Valley Christian. Are they pretty good this year?
They're pretty good. They blew out Snowflake this past weekend, I think. Friday, I think.
So I could see Valley Christian trying to stay in the Copper tournament as well.
Maybe, yeah.
So,
but you got to win the first 2 rounds, right, to stay in the Copper. So, depending on who they play, I guess. It'll be interesting how it's gonna
Uh-huh.
pan out, man.
So what I'm getting at is these top teams in the copper bracket, if they stay in the bracket, right, you're looking at a tournament where I think Coolidge or Winslow has a shot, Chinley has a shot, Holbrook has a shot,
Payson's pretty good too.
Payson has a shot. So I think in the 3A tournament for the boys, I think some of these smaller schools have a realistic chance at winning a state championship.
Yep.
It's going to take a lot of work and some luck.
Mhm.
And I think Perkins said you need some luck anyways to win
Yeah.
in the tournament. So uh, it'll be exciting to see how it plays out.
Yep.
I feel like the copper really benefits the boys side because it takes a lot of these bigger schools
Out of the
out of it.
picture. Yep.
and it leaves, these other schools in.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so what are your thoughts on this, Mac?
Yeah, I see the South team staying in the copper, I think. And then yeah, like we said, it'd be a good run for us, man.
Okay, we'll look at the standings real quick.
And
So-
then being in the copper bracket also was a benefit for teams too, because they get like a 2 week break in between almost.
Oh yeah, they do, huh?
They do. So playing in that copper bracket at least a game or so would benefit the team.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. Here's the 3A East standings. Winslow, Blue Ridge, and Holbrook. So looking at here, do you think Holbrook has a chance to win the East?
yep. Definitely.
It's looking like Holbrook boys have to basically win out
All their games.
all their games.
And they get a good chance of doing that. They get a
Yeah, they have Sholo, who's sort of on the down and out right now.
Ultra Says would be their toughest opponent.
Altusay, I think, can beat anybody on the right night, right?
That Ultra Says would be the tough one.
Let's look at Winslow.
Winslow plays Snowflake tomorrow night. They're hosting Snowflake, I believe.
Snowflake, Altusay, Sholo.
They got a Sholo at the end again too.
Oh,
Or
they got to play
Snowflake
Snowflake twice.
twice, yep.
And they haven't played Altusay yet, have they?
So for Ultra and Snowflake and Winslow, they still got tough schedules coming up.
Uh-huh.
I think out of them four with Holbrook, I think Holbrook has the better chance.
So I think in order for Holbrook to win the East, I think Snowflake would have to beat Winslow twice. And then Altusay would have to beat Winslow at least once.
Yep.
But all roads is pointing to just win all your games, the rest of your games, and you'll win the
Mhm.
East. I think that's the only clear cut way. Blue Ridge, that's surprising. Have they played anybody good yet?
Blue Ridge?
Yeah, they lost to Winslow.
I think Blue Ridge beat someone beat Ultra Blue Ridge or Snowflake, or Blue Ridge or Sholo, one of them. I can't remember who.
Yeah, they haven't played Altusay yet.
Can you? Oh, this is Blue Ridge schedule right here.
it's
Okay.
their schedule.
Go to
They
Ultra
beat-
schedule. They lost to somebody. They lost to Sholo, I think.
Oh, so it's at the top. So beat everybody. Lost to Chin Lee. Lost to Coolidge 32-72. They beat Snowflake. They lost to Payson. They lost to Sholo.
Yeah, that
and they
one.
lost to Snowflake again. Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, Ultra is a tough schedule, man.
So they finish out the season. Blue Ridge twice, back to back. It's so weird. I saw that. I saw
Yeah.
this morning. They have. So if you can't see this on the screen, everybody, it's Blue Ridge on January 20th, which is tomorrow, and then
The
they play
next
Blue
day.
Ridge the next day. So yeah, Altusay is at Blue Ridge on the 20th, and then the next day, the 21st, Blue Ridge is visiting Altusay.
Mhm.
They should have just done a doubleheader.
They have Holbrook playing, the same Sholo twice this week also.
hmm
And the schedules changed. I don't know if you noticed that from the beginning of the season
For which team?
for Holbrook. It changed. I think they had a schedule for tomorrow, I think, one of the games. I think they said Sholo away or some of that. It changed. I think it's due to referee or shortage or something like that. I think.
January 21st on
But
Wednesday
but it's accurate now, yeah.
at Sholo.
But the beginning of the season was different.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I see. Well, they have Wednesday, they play at Sholo, and then Wednesday, Thursday, so Friday, the 23rd,
Yeah.
they play here
Home
against
game.
Sholo. Okay. Then the 27th at Altusay.
Can you go to the brackets to Copper and go? This is the last game. So you go back down again. What's the last date? The 4th.
Uh-huh.
Okay, let's go to the bracket real quick. I want to know what the difference. How many days I have to wait? February
So
4,
Copper round one, February 11th,
February 11th.
February 13th, and then February 20th. And
So that's 7 days later. Okay, go back to the 3A.
Pool play.
14. So like 9 days later, they'll play in that one if they get down. But if they're playing in the first round, they're waiting a bye, then they'll. That's more than 10 days, man.
Uh-huh. When is this scheduled to finish? February 28th, the 3A tournament for boys. I see. Well, interesting. So, anyways, so Mac, do you have any final thoughts on the 3A boys?
No, good.
Nothing that has this year's season sort of met your expectations for the 3A East or the 3A North?
Yeah. Like
Oh.
my predictions kind of been the way it is. Like I had Chile winning the whole season and winning the North, I guess. So it's panning out like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure who I said would win the North. Maybe it was Chile. Maybe I disagreed. I'm not just agreed with you. As far as the East, I think I said I thought Snowflake would win the East. And when Holbrook lost to Snowflake at Snowflake, certainly solidified in my mind that Snowflake would win the East for the boys. But now that it's towards the end of the season, I really think Holbrook has a chance at stealing the East if they can just finish out these wins, and which will be tough, but it's certainly within the realm of possibility.
They can do it, man. We can do it.
Winslow, the same thing. Winslow just needs to win out as well, and it's certainly possible. So right now it's up in the air, basically. Is the gist of it, right?
Yeah.
What about for the girls? I want to say our model. Who did I say? I said the best team in the North and East was Snowflake, right?
Yep.
And I still think that's the case because Snowflake is basically beating everybody, including Tuba City. And the other, as far as the North, I think we said Tuba City at the beginning of the year. And then we watched the Sports Zone radio, and I had put that prediction on the very first game that Sports Zone did. And then the host for Sports Zone, he sort of thought that Paige's acquisition of that girl in the off season would be a big difference. But I really don't think it made a difference as far as Tuba City being better than Paige right now. But Winterrock, I know we had that in last place at the beginning of the year as far as the preseason rankings. But they've certainly improved a lot, and they have certainly exceeded my expectations.
Yeah.
And I know I did say when we brought the preseason rankings out that I would not be surprised if Winterrock somehow bounced up and made an impact in their division or in their conference, and they certainly did that. And credits to the coach, as well as the coach. She really knew how to integrate those freshmen into her offense. I would say out of all the 3A North teams I've watched, girls teams I've watched so far, I want to say Winterrock has the best offense right now. And what I mean by that is they have what I call a working set, meaning they have someone they do a lot of pick and rolls, so they're screening towards the ball, and it seems like the way they run their their offense. Um, they're doing it in a structured way that allows them to create shots either down low or 3-point shots, and it's certainly benefited them well.
Yeah. I think they got the deepest bench too, I think, of all the teams in the North, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like a lot of them girls are almost evenly matched, sort of. Like they got height too. And they run, man. I
Uh-huh.
know their coaches and all that, and they're doing practice 5 a.m. in the morning, man. I don't know, a lot of students, a lot of schools don't do that, and I know
Mhm.
they're putting in work, man.
Wow. And like I said, Windrock, I think I'm so impressed by their team because I feel like their offense is the only one I understand. Whereas everybody else, whether it's Page, Tuba City, Holbrook, Winslow, Snowflake, I'm like, I watch their offense. I'm like, what the heck are they doing? They'll pass it and then they'll maybe try to run some kind of, I call it offset or a working offset. So they screen away from the ball and they're just trying to do some pattern that to me, I don't really see what their pattern is. And sometimes I wonder if even the girls know what the pattern is that they're running.
Hmm.
I think offenses like that really requires players that really understand their position, are really highly skilled,
High IQ players.
high IQ players. I think that's why Page, whatever it is their offense is, that's why they play so well, is because a lot of the players are high IQ players
Mm-hmm.
and they know what they're doing out there in the
Yep.
field. So, but anyhow, um, so yeah, that was kind of our discussion on week 9. Oh, one last thing before we go, we almost forgot. I do want to bring this up here. This was the last thing that we were supposed to talk about, and I totally forgot.
This week's schedule.
This is the girls. This week's schedule, right? Week 9 spreads and totals, and we'll just kind of go through it one by one here really quickly. So tomorrow we have Winslow versus Snowflake. Winslow at Snowflake, I believe is what it says here. We have Snowflake as a 20-point favorite with an over-under of 98. And the projected score is somewhere around 58 Snowflake, Winslow 38. I think this is probably somewhere around there. It could be maybe a little less than 20, but I certainly see Snowflake coming away with a big victory against Winslow for the girls. Do you think it's going to be less than 90 or over 98 points?
Let's say less than that.
Less than 98?
Yeah.
In order for it to be less than 98, that means Winslow has to score somewhere in the 20-point range. Or Snowflake has to score less.
Yeah, I say Snowflake scores less, I think.
Snowflake scores less than 58 points. Okay. Next one here, Page versus Tuba City, or Page at Tuba City. Or Tuba City at Page, I mean. I guess I have it backwards. Tuba City is a 7-point favorite against Page with an over-under of 96. This could be a close game.
I say it's closer than that. I don't think it's gonna be 7 points, man. I say 1 or 2 points again.
I'm gonna go with the model and say Tuba City by at least 7 points, but I could certainly see this being a 1 to 2 point victory.
It's at Page too, right?
It's at Tuba City, or no, it's at Page. Yes.
Yeah, it's at Page.
It's at Page.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard. I think Page by 1 point.
Page by 1 point.
I'm taking Page by 1 point.
Do you think it's gonna be under 96 or over 96?
Under. It's be all defense, man.
All defense. I'm gonna go with this. I think it's gonna be under 96.
They could be playing in a smaller gym, a lot more louder crowd. Yeah, I say Page.
Okay. Next one here, Monument Valley versus Ganado. So Ganado at Monument Valley here. Monument Valley has a 5-point favorite.
This is at Monument Valley?
Yeah.
Yeah, I say Monument Valley by 2.
By 2?
You know what? No. I'll go Winslow, man. I'm going Winslow. Or Ganado, I'm sorry. I'm going Ganado. Ganado by 1.
You have a lot of faith in Ganado this year.
It's my old school, man. I gotta go for Ganado a little bit.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the model here, Monument Valley by 5. If Cannon Dalton and what's her name? Darcy Anagal. if Cannon Dalton and Darcy Anigal, if they can put together a good offense, if they come out and play really well, I could see Monument Valley winning by 5 points. And I also want to mention this. In 3 years, when this year's freshman class are seniors, I think there's going to be possibly 4 standout players, senior players. Obviously, Layla Curtis from Tuba City. What was her name? The Edison girl from Winter Rock? Tiana Edison. And then the other girl that's on the same
Valley.
The other girl from Winter Rock, the other freshman.
Naomi
James. Okay. And then Darcy Anigal. I think those 4 are going to be the standout players when they're seniors. And I think probably the next 2, I want to say it's going to be really intense in 2 when they're juniors and seniors.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a really intense division around that time.
Yeah.
And plus we do have some students, some 8th graders that are going to be moving up into high school as well next year. So I think that's also going to really ramp up a lot of this competitiveness in the girls division.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, those 4 freshmen that I listed, they are really impressive. And I think those players, there are players that you remember for the rest of your life, like Bobby Mannheimer and Brian Holiday, right? I think the girls that we mentioned, they're going to also be ones that we're to remember for a long time, whether they go to college or not.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing really good basketball right now.
Yep.
And I'm excited to see what they're going to do next year and the few years following. Yep. Okay, next one here. Winter Rock, Chinle at Winter Rock. Winter Rock's a 2-point favorite against Chinle. Yeah, I could see Winter Rock being higher, maybe 5-point favorite. What do you say about this one?
Yeah, I say that
Okay.
too.
Altusay at Blue Ridge. Yeah, I'm gonna take this model here. Altusay by 1 point.
I say that too. I'll just say by 4.
By 4?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even more than that. Yeah, it's 4.
And then we have Sholo at Holbrook. No, it's Holbrook at Sholo. I have it backwards on this one. So Holbrook at Sholo. We have Sholo. The model says Sholo as a 10-point favorite against Holbrook.
I say Holbrook by 5.
You think Holbrook girls are going to beat Sholo tomorrow?
Not tomorrow. It's
on Tuesday.
Wednesday.
Or Wednesday, yes. Wednesday.
I think. No, I say Holbrook by 2.
By 2? You're going to think it's going to be a close game?
It's going to be a close game.
I'm going to go with Sholo by 10. I think it's an away game, and I think Sholo is going to be ready. I think they want to finish strong. And I think it's going to be probably over 92 points.
I say under 92, I think.
Okay. And then we have Blue Ridge at Altusay on the 22nd. We have Altusay by 3.
I agree with that.
And the reason why it's Altusay by 3 is because of the home court advantage.
Yeah, it could be more than that.
Okay. Next here, we have Sholo at St. John's on the 22nd. We have Sholo as a 6-point favorite. If Sholo comes out swinging, I think it could be higher. It could be Sholo by 12.
Yeah.
At least double that.
Yeah, Sholo.
We have Winslow versus Altusay on the 23rd. Altusay is a 2-point favorite over the Winslow girls.
This is Altusay home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I say Altusay by. I agree with this model, man. 2.
Let's say by 2. Then we have 23rd, Tuba City at Ganado. Tuba City is listed as a 22-point favorite. You take that one? Tuba City at 22-point favorite?
I say Tuba by 4. It's a be a close game, man.
I think I'm going to go with the model here, 22-point favorite.
You think so? Oh, man, I don't know.
Okay, so full disclosure, the model originally said something like, I think 6 or something like that. And I was like, heck no, it's 22. So I changed it to 22 points.
No, not by that much, man.
So Tuba City by 22.
Ganado's coming back, man. I can feel it.
Okay. Well, we'll see what you guys say in the comments, but I think Tuba City by 22 will be it here. Next, we have Monument Valley at Chinle. Chinle is a 6-point favorite. You know,
That's to be close one.
I could see it being close.
I say Chinley by 1.
By
Just
Chinley by
because
1.
they're home. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go with the model. Chinley by 6.
Chinley by 6.
And lastly here, the 23rd, Winderock at Page. Winderock is a 1-point
That's
favorite.
a be a good game.
Winderock playing at Page. I'm gonna go with the model. I think Winderock's gonna finish strong because they know Winderock knows what's at stake here. I want to say out of all the schools playing right now, Tuba City and Winderock I feel are the most focused right now.
Mm-hmm.
Which, from what you've been telling me, off camera, I think Winderock is probably the most focused team right now, as far as wanting to win this thing and possibly making a run in a state championship.
Yeah. I agree with the Marlon. Winter up at 1.
Okay, everybody. Well, tell us what you think about that. Do you have any final words, Mac?
Oh man, just good luck to all the teams and players. Wish them luck.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for watching the Sports on I-40 podcast. Be careful if you're going to these games. I don't really expect a whole lot of weather this week, but you just never know with all the traveling and everything. We hope to have some guests on pretty soon, maybe within the next month, for sure, before the state tournament. And we do have some other things scheduled too for the upcoming Major League Baseball as well as the Super Bowl. I try to do an annual Super Bowl show. Well, this will be the second time, so I guess it's technically annual, but talk about the Super Bowl next week, or not next week, in February. I might try to do one this coming weekend for the AFC Championship game. The NFC, it's Rams versus Seahawks. Seahawks are the number 1 seed. And this is crazy. This is going to be the 3rd time the Rams and Seahawks play each other. Wow. And then in the AFC, you have the Broncos and who was the other one? Broncos and
Patriots.
Patriots, yeah. And what's so sad about the Broncos is their starting quarterback apparently broke his ankle on the second to last play of the game.
Yeah.
So it's certainly looking like it's going to be the Patriots, unless the Patriots come out and play a horrible game. But you know what's this? It's the NFL. And if you don't come to play, even the worst team can beat you because, you know, these are professional players, and especially when money's on the line. And when I mean money, I mean each team gets a bonus for winning the game in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. So not only are these guys playing, you know, to win, to go to the Super Bowl, but they're also playing for these bonuses too, right? I mean, if you have a chance to win 90,000, right, you're certainly going to want to win this game. The last thing I want to mention about football too is if any of you watched the Bills game, that was such a heartbreaking loss for the Bills. And I know everybody's giving Josh Allen a lot of crap. Maybe he didn't play as well as he needed to be, but if you just think about the kind of pressure Josh Allen had on his shoulders, imagine you having to go out there and play, knowing that if you don't win, your coach is going to get fired. All of your teammates who probably need that money for their families from winning this game and also going to the Super Bowl, and other players who are depending on winning so that they can build a case to not get traded or to get traded for a better contract. You know, all these things. The entire city of Buffalo resting on their shoulders because they're so desperate to win a Super Bowl, right? And you know, you have that on the top of your head. At the same time, you know, you're trying to win this game and it's cold and everything. That's why these guys get paid the money they do, because that's just such an unbelievable amount of pressure and to go out there.
He's got Haley Seinfeld with the pressure back at home too.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just when it comes to professional sports, I just think it's so interesting to see, you know, these professionals, whether it's baseball, football,
another
basketball.
Position too with a lot of pressures. Kickers, man.
Oh yeah, the kickers.
Right before the wild card games, oh man, it could have been so much. So much could have happened if they made field goals and
points and all that, right? Kickers are the most and least important player in the game. You know, they're not important until you need them. Yeah. But anyhow, Anyways, everybody, thank you for watching the stream, and have a good night out there.
Good night.